guys, welcome to Back to School Night. I am Miss Scott and I am your student's integrated Math 1 teacher this year at Carmel High School. So just a quick rundown of my class and how things work and where resources are and all of the things that we can do to help your student be successful in my class this year. So we'll just jump right in. You can access the course description using this URL right here. Now, obviously, you can't click on it. You'll have to actually, write it down and type it in. Oh my goodness, heaven help us all. But we'll go old school on it. It's fine. But you do have access to it, and actually, your student also has access to the course description through Google Classroom, which I'll show you later on. But when you get to the course description, it's a little slow. You will see a document that looks like this, just kind of gives you the rundown on the class, and it includes within it several things I'm going to talk to you about in this video today. And of course, at the bottom, it has information on how to contact me and how to reach me. So that's pretty useful and helpful. So coming back here, again, you can access that anytime. So just a real quick rundown, things that your student is going to want in order to be successful in Integrated Math 1 this year. Obviously, Chromebook, computer. We're doing distance learning, so you got to be able to get online. That's going to be super helpful. If you're having computer issues, there are ways to contact the school to help out with that. Pencils, this is a math class. We make mistakes. So pencils are great because we can erase our mistakes and learn from them and do better. Always useful. Of course, we do have a math workbook for this. I met many of you guys the day you came and picked up your books. It was great. I was there handing out math books. And so this lovely book right here, these are workbooks that you actually get to write in. It came in a 2-pack, big thick thing. Don't worry, we won't even use all of it this year. It's a lot. But you should have these books. If not, I know that they're still doing pickups at the school. You can definitely contact the school and see what you can do about getting those. Other little things that'll be useful. A calculator. Yes, I know everybody has a calculator on their cell phone. Yes, I know they're sitting on a computer and you can very easily access calculators online. But I find that students tend to do best when they physically have a calculator in their hand. And so that's just really helpful having a scientific calculator. You don't need a graphing calculator or anything fancy like that. And then there's a lot of little things. This is a math class after all. I'm going to move up here. So compass, protractor, some kind of ruler with a straight edge on it, scissors, glue stick, tape. We're going to be doing things in this workbook where we're actually need to cut things out and put them together and rearrange them. Just that kind of nice tactile sense that we like to get in math class. So these things will be helpful as well. And of course, paper, maybe even a notebook. While a lot of our work is in the workbook, a lot of the homework assignments, there is not space in the workbook to work out the homework assignments. So having a separate sheet of paper to do the work on will be helpful. Maybe even having a notebook to keep all of the homework in would be really, really super helpful. Just a great way to keep things organized instead of loose bits of paper running around as they do. Just a real quick rundown on the grading policy. Assignments as homework assignments, 20% of the grade. At the end of each lesson, we have a ticket out the door that's due at the end of the period. That's 10% of the grade. Tests, quizzes, all those assessment type of things, those are 50% of the grade, 50. And of course, final exam at the end of the semester is 20% of the grade. As far as tests and assessments go, in the past, I've had students take the test and then the following day they get to do test corrections. That doesn't work as well in a distance learning environment. So what we're going to be doing is for student tests this year, they will be allowed to, while we're doing distance learning, they will be allowed to use their notes, to use their homework, that sort of thing. Still no phones or playing around the computer, that's not okay. But they can use their notes, they can use their homework to help them do well on their tests, since we aren't going to be able to do corrections and they're kind of only going to get one shot. Of course, if they're absent for a test, then they will need to meet up with me during my next office hours to get that taken care of, because we're doing it during class. Final exam. We'll get there when we get there, but it'll be a similar idea. If we're still doing distance learning, it'll be accumulation of the entire semester. And again, they'll be allowed to use their book and their notes to help them do that. This goes A, B, C, D, and F. The grading scale is pretty typical. I don't do anything fancy there. Just to give you an idea of a typical class with Miss Scott, so we have these 90-minute blocks, and I try to break them up a bit because otherwise it's just a bit much, isn't it? So typically the first 20 minutes or so on Zoom, I'll take questions from the homework. We have a warm-up in the workbook that we do and a getting started activity in the workbook that we all do together, and I call on students and we discuss it, we talk about it, all that good stuff. By then, they're probably already a little bit sick of me and a little bit sick of Zoom. So at that point, they can log off of Zoom if they want to. I usually encourage them to at least turn off their camera at that point. But then they've got usually about an hour, 60 minutes or so that they work on their own. There are activities in the workbook that they keep working on. There is a YouTube video available to them to help them work through those activities in their workbook. And of course, throughout that time, I stay on the Zoom meeting. So if they've got questions or concerns, they can pop back in and ask them or type it in the chat and send it my way, and I can help them out. The last 10 minutes or so of class, oh, my picture's in the way. There we go. The last 10 minutes or so of class, I answer any last questions, and we do our ticket out the door. It's just a 1-question exit ticket on Google Classroom that they just answer and have it done. It needs to be done at the end of the period. Doesn't usually take the full 10 minutes if we're going to be super honest about that, but I want to make sure everybody's got the time they need to get it done. There are homework assignments. Again, the assignment is in Google Classroom. Problems are in the math workbook, and like I said, probably should be done on a separate piece of paper and then take a picture and submit on Google Classroom. There are ways to take pictures with the Chromebook, and there's help on Google Classroom for that as well. Homework is due at the start of the next class. And again, I usually give it 30 minutes into the next class so I can answer questions when we start again and make sure we clear anything up before everything is due. I keep mentioning Google Classroom, so let's look at Google Classroom. So all the work, announcements, links, materials, everything is posted in Google Classroom. So to give you an idea, we're going to go to my Google Classroom. Now, my Google Classroom is probably going to look a little different than your students, which is only fair. But you can click on a class, and if you go to classwork, you can find all kinds of things. So this is the weekly info. You can see there's a link for the assignments for the whole week. You want to know what's going on that week? That's what's going on that week. There's the classroom Zoom link. This is how you get into our Zoom meetings, guys. The course description that I mentioned before, my office hours Zoom link for Fridays, along with CHS Zoom expectations. And again, for those struggling with how to submit stuff on Google, I do have a little video on how to take a picture with your Chromebook. You can see we've got assignments down here. Here's our first ticket out the door, but you can also see our latest homework assignment. You can click on that and you can see there's the video here to help them work through their stuff. Here's the homework assignment itself. This is the video to help with the notes. And if for some reason they don't have their workbook with them, I even included a PDF link so that they can get to that too. So there's lots of resources here on Google Classroom. It's a pretty useful place. So here are some of the things that you as a parent or guardian can do to help your student be successful. I know we're all freaking out about this and like, how can I help my kid do better? Trust me, as teachers, we're thinking the same thing. So some things that you can do, just make sure your student has a place to work with minimal distractions, right? That they shouldn't have the cell phone out. They're working at some kind of desk or table where they can sit and have a place to work. And if possible, have maybe a space away from the rest of the household. I know that's not always possible. My siblings and I, when we were kids, there was no safe place. We were all on top of each other. And even now in my little apartment, my cat does like to randomly wander in every now and then. But just doing the best we can to create minimal distractions in our work environment. I know it's not perfect. Encourage your student to take an occasional stretch break. That's 60 minutes. That's a long time to be sitting there working. Take a moment to stand up, to stretch out, to kind of, pull it all back together again and get that little bit of a break. It helps. Um, there we go. Talk to them. This is crazy stressful time, right? Distance learning to start the year like this is rough, and all the other things that have been going on. So, talk to your kid, ask them, how did their day go? How'd their class go? How's the week been? What's been going on? What class do you like best? Is there a class that's giving you trouble? And along those lines, encourage your student to ask for help as needed. We have office hours on Fridays and encourage them to join in and to ask those questions and to get the help they need. It's literally why we're here. We're here to help. And of course, if you have questions, please email me. Let me know. What are some questions that you've got? If there's issues going on, let's stay connected. Let's stay on top of stuff. We are in this together. I know it doesn't always feel like it, but we are, I promise. So my office hours, so if your student wants to come and ask Miss Scott questions, my office hours are on Fridays from 9:45 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. and then again from 11 a.m. to noon. And once again, as you already saw, the Zoom link and the passcode is in Google Classroom. This is my email, escott@carmelunified.org. So if you want to email me with questions or concerns, whether you want to do it or your student, I am here. And the phone number for me at the school for my classroom is 831-624-1821, extension 3748. I do check that mailbox. Even from home, I can check the mailbox. It just might take me a little while to get it and a little while to get back to you. So email will definitely be the fastest way to get a hold of me. So I'm looking forward to a great year. It's going to be new and exciting. Maybe for the good, maybe for the not so good. We're going to find out. But I really am looking forward to the school year with your students, and I hope you're doing well. Stay connected, and I'll see you soon. Bye.